All right, we're live. So, hi everybody. I'm Brent Warner from Orange County Q and back to physical Q in Palm Springs. So, this is. Can they see palm trees back? If you look real right there, there's a palm tree. There it is.
Yeah, just ever so slightly. Yeah.
All right, so we're here with Kyle Brumbaugh.
Yeah.
How are you?
Well, and yourself?
Doing pretty well. Back in person.
Back in person. It's great to be back here. I mean, the weather's awesome. There have been times. There was one time, I want to say, 15 years ago, when back behind us, those hills that you can see behind us, a little bit maybe, had snow on them all the way down to about 400 feet. So it was just crazy cold here a few times. So it's always nice to come back here. They moved the conference back a couple of weeks, so the weather's always great, and it's always a great venue to be here.
15 years. How many times have you been to Q?
I've probably been to 20.
That's pretty long run.
Yeah.
All right. So take us through your entire history of Q in less than 5 minutes.
No, not so much in 5. So I started off. I was a high school social studies, physical education teacher. I did that job for 20 years. About, I want to say 14, 15 years into it, there was some things that came up, and there was an opportunity. The state grant came into the school, and basically the principal said, you have a choice. You can either be the chair of the social studies department, or you can run this tech grant, and let me know what you want to do. And at that point I said, I don't want to do either one of those things. Mm-hmm. And so she called me back the next day and says, you have no choice. You're going to do this tech grant. You're going to basically be the tech coordinator of our school.
Okay.
That kind of led to me being the tech coordinator in the district. That kind of led to me then teaching computer repair and computer networking classes to the high school kids. That kind of then also led me to more leadership roles. I was involved in the first Google Teacher Academy.
Dang.
And so I've done a lot of these different things through the course of my career. I've been now director of tech at a couple different school districts. So I've done lots of things. We mentioned before we got online that one of the things I did at the position previous to the one I'm at now is I actually wrote a grant for $500,000 to put a makerspace into the Cross Center of Innovation up at Foothill College.
Right.
So there's just lots of different things that I've been able to do that it's kind of neat because this field is always changing and evolving. There's always something else left to learn, and there's always some new thing to kind of learn and be able to pass on to other people. And now I see my role in being a director for technology or basically just working with teachers is for me to take the friction out of the process for teachers and students to use the technology that they have effectively.
Love it. So all this is paid off. So this year is the Gold Disc winner?
Yeah.
And that's kind of a reflection of all that work that you're doing, right? So I think that's amazing. Like, so much history and being able to carry it all forward with you. So now we're kind of here back in person. We've learned a bunch of stuff over the last couple of years.
Yes.
Different things that we weren't expecting to necessarily learn. Share a little bit, like, what have you learned in the last couple of years, and what are you taking forward as we're trying to come back or figure out new ways of interacting?
Well, so, I mean, the biggest thing that we learned is kind of the last point that I ended on. So we need to take the friction out of that process for people a whole lot more. The other thing is that we kind of got caught before COVID that let's just get devices, doesn't matter what kind of device in the kids' hands, and we really found out through COVID that that's not the case. We need to make sure that the devices we have in kids' hands are quality devices. They don't have to be the most expensive device, but you can't buy the the $199 or $225 Chromebook and put it in that kid's hand and expect that they're going to have a great experience with it. So in the district that I work in now, we've made sure that every Chromebook that we purchase has 8 gigs so that it has enough firepower on the device to let kids do the things that you want kids to do, to be creative. And that's always been a big thing for me as well, is that so much of the time we get into this drill and kill kind of multiple choice testing, and for me the more authentic the assessment and having kids create content, because when they create content and you say, so tell me what you made, man, they go on forever. Immediately whether that kid has learned the material or not, versus a multiple choice test. And okay, I'm going to do the dot thing, and I'm going to say this one was A and that one was C. When they make something and they tell you about it, and then ask them to refine it. Ask a kid to do a project that has something that you can touch, and then say, tell me about it, and you've got 90 seconds, go. You will find out for sure exactly, did they do the work or did they not do the work? There will be no question in your mind.
I love that idea of like putting the power back in the students' hands, right? And I think a lot of that has been scary for teachers during, like, hey, we're online.
Right.
I have to trust you to do this stuff, right? And so, but we've seen a lot of times that the students do take that responsibility and they do work on those things. So I think that's a perfect combination, kind of recognizing how those came together. So I think we're going to wrap up in just a minute here, but last part. So we're just starting Q now.
Yeah.
What are you looking forward to? What's the one you're gonna? What's the thing you're trying to get?
Is just being able to see everybody again for me.
Yes.
That has been.
We're all saying the same thing. These hallways are where it's at.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, even before COVID, I mean, when I came to the conference, yes, I go to sessions, but my main goal for coming was to be with my tribe and to make sure that I made those connections with the people that I had those connections with year after year after year after year. And there's always new people coming in and people that are retiring or going out, but there are those people that they have that spirit of that innovative spirit, and those are the people you want to connect in, because when you connect with those people, they energize you and you energize them. And that kind of energy just becomes contagious among that group. And then you walk out of here saying, hey, I'm ready to go back and tackle whatever it is. And for me, that kept me going. There were some times where I said, am I really in the right business anymore? And so it kept me going for one more year.
Any shout outs? Any in particular people you're looking for this year?
Not particular that I'm looking for. I've already seen it was great.
Didn't take long to find people this year.
No, it did not take long. I'm super energized that my very good friend Ken Shelton is doing one of the keynotes here at the conference. Ken and I we served on the Q board together for a couple of years. We've known each other since, so going back to the Google Teacher Academy piece, I was in the first cohort of Google Certified Teachers, and I believe Ken was in the second cohort. And so we have that kind of bond that goes way, way back, and then all the different things. So, after I went through, he was one of those people that kind of came to me and says, well, how did you do it? How did you get in? And he really kind of did. And then when he went through the second one, that just really built a bond between the two of us.
Awesome. Okay. Well, I think we're going to wrap up for now.
Okay.
But Kyle, thanks so much for your time.
Well, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
See you, and there's other people too.